and welcome to Real Yoga. I'm Hanna, and today we're going to do a yoga practice for the feet. So for this practice, grab yourself a tennis ball or any other sort of ball that's lying around, get into your stretchy pants, and I'll meet you on the mat. Alright, so we'll begin standing. Place your tennis ball or whatever ball you have on the floor, and you're welcome to come over to a wall or something for balance. And we're simply going to start using the ball under the sole of our feet, or foot in this case, one at a time. I mean, if you want to channel those circus elephant vibes and do both feet at one time, cool. But I will not be responsible for you falling on your face. And we're simply just rolling this ball underneath the sole of our foot. Get into the ball of the foot, maybe you go across your toes, get into the heel, the arch, really the whole bottom part of your foot. If you're feeling tricky and fancy, maybe you even get into the sides of your foot, the outside edge and the inside edge. Really get into the heel of that foot, it should feel really nice. Whoop. Cool. My hands are like, oh! Remember to breathe, or again, choose to use the obstacles around you to help you stand up. So we'll give it about a minute on both sides. So take a minute on this side. I guess we'll be coming up to that very soon. Nice. I'm really surprised that the dogs aren't totally invading me for use of this ball right now. Nice. And then once you feel satisfied on one side, go ahead and switch. I know that your balance often is different from one foot to the other, one side to the other, so it might be slightly tricky to balance on your second side. We tend to favor balancing on the side that is easiest for us first, whether you do that consciously or subconsciously. Your body may have leaned to the right or the left to begin with. Just funky little things that our body does to, keep us safe, keep us happy, without much effort involved. All right. So once again, really get into the ball of the foot. Maybe you roll over your toes, the heel of your foot. I had totally planned to, make my feet actually pretty, get a little pedicure action going for this video, but no close-ups, everybody. Nice, so we'll give it, again, a minute on this side as well. Feel free to apply as much pressure as feels good. Should feel super, super nice. Swing, swing. We'll give it a few more seconds. Lovely. And again, when you feel satisfied, go ahead, release your foot from underneath the ball. Place your ball away from your dogs. And then come to stand in Tadasana with the feet hip distance apart. And as I'm doing here, just rocking gently back and forth into the ball of the foot and the heel of the foot. Just noticing how your feet feel after just a little bit of very fancy, ancient Chinese medicine tennis ball action. I joke, but it kind of is. Maybe just minus the tennis ball. Beautiful. And then when you feel satisfied there, come to stillness. And then lift all 5 toes of each foot off of the mat and spread your toes really wide. So you hear yogis talking about this yogi toe spread a lot. Spread your toes wide like you are in fact having a pedicure. And then just let your toes stay off the mat and flex like this for a while. Notice how that makes you feel. And then slowly, can you drop from your pinky toes, your little toes, one at a time, and then just leave your big toes floating off the mat. Keep the toes spread. Nice. One more breath here. And then slowly drop your big toes down. And then from here, can you start to lift all your little toes off the mat and keep your big toes down. Whoa, super yoga for the brain. I am struggle down here. My right foot is all about that action, but my left is like, I don't understand. So if that's happening to you, cool. We're human. Again, my hands are super tense. Notice if you're holding tension somewhere else in your body while you're trying to do these funky little moves. See if you can shake that out. Nice. One more breath here. Ooh, finally it worked out. And then maybe for our final crazy yoga brain exercises, can you leave your big toes down and then just put your little toes down, your outside toes, pinky toes, and then leave the 3 middle ones up. Again, my right foot is totally cooperating, but my left side does not. So if there's any neurologists watching this video, if you want to tell me what's going on there with my brain, I'd love to know. Alright, one more breath. And then let it go. Maybe let's give our feet both a little bit of a shake off. Nice. Alright, and if you need to, you're also welcome to lift your heel, give your ankle a little bit of a roll, or press into the tops of the toes, the fronts of the toes, I suppose. Just taking movement here that releases your feet a little bit. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to go into a balance. So balancing really works into all the tiny little muscles in our feet and our ankles. So once again, lean onto your preferred side. So straight away your body's going to tell you which side it would like to do first. And that's maybe a nice little mental note to take. So for me, it's my left. I'm going to bring more weight into my left foot and lift my right heel off of the mat. This is already a balance. You can stay here. Again, feel free to use a wall or something around you. Or slowly start to lift your opposite knee up like it's attached to a puppet string. Lift it up nice and high and then interlace your fingers and hug your knee into your chest. And we're just going to stay here today. Drop your shoulders. See if you can keep your spine long. Beautiful. Maybe even flex your floating foot. You can take some little circles here with your ankle. If you want to go into a tree pose or some other sort of balance, if you want to do like a little, crazy one of these, you're very welcome to have a play. So just notice what you can feel in your standing leg. Your standing foot working nice and hard for you. We'll be here for one more breath. Let's all inhale together as we lengthen and grow the spine. And then exhale to slowly release your hands. And how slowly can you place your leg back down to the mat? Nice work. Beautiful. All right. So we probably all started on our preferred side. So let's go to the opposite side. Bringing your weight into your opposite foot now, lifting the heel that we're going to balance on. You can stay here if it's enough, or again, find that puppet string attached to your knee as you lift your knee up, up, up. And then when you can't get it any higher, interlace your fingers, wrap them around your shin or your kneecap, and then stand up nice and tall. And then here again, option to maybe take some circles with your floating foot. Really getting into that ankle. Mine is doing all sorts of snap, crackle, pop. That's what it is. Beautiful. Again, if there's another sort of balance in your practice that you want to have a play around with today, it could be tree, it could be whatever. Dancer. Nice. If you're taking your circles, make sure you go in both directions. And then once again, bring your awareness to your standing foot and feel all those little muscles working really hard to keep you standing upright. Amazing. Final breath in here. Let's all lengthen together. And then exhale. Gently release your hands. And then how slow can you place that foot back down to the mat. Amazing. Once again, if you need to shake out your legs, your ankles, if you need to do a little crack of your toe knuckles, then go for it. Amazing. And then walk to the back edge of your mat. Again, keep your feet hip distance apart. Make sure that those toes are pointing directly forward and that your heels are directly behind your toes. So we're not pigeon-toed here, and we're not Charlie Chaplin feet, as my yoga teacher calls it. And then we're going to lift up through the chest, roll the shoulders back and down. And then slowly start to bend your knees. Start to hinge from your hips. So think about tilting your chest forward and melting down into a very quick forward fold. Let your head dangle. Your knees can be super, super bent. And then we're slowly going to walk our hands forward and come in to Adho Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog, with your knees really bent. This is another great stretch for the feet. So if it feels good for you to just stay here, go for it. Or start to lengthen through one leg and really bend deeply through the opposite knee. You can come up to the very tips of your toes. And then switch, dropping the opposite heel down to the mat and coming up really high on your opposite toes. Keep pushing your hands away from you. Try not to round through the spine. And then again, switch. And you can keep going at a pace that feels good for your body today. Amazing. Nice. Ugh. My feet are making all sorts of noises for me today, so maybe this is perfect timing to do this video. Nice. Once you've had your pedal time, you're feeling good, come to find stillness in your downward dog. Again, notice if your heels have started to come in or out, and can you bring your heels directly behind your feet? Does that even make sense? Lift your toes again, spread them wide, and place them back down. Nice. Take a deep breath in here. And then once again, start to bend your knees and walk your hands back towards your feet. We're going to come back into that forward fold, Uttanasana, with really, really bent knees. Super. And then from here, start to Charlie Chaplin out your feet. Maybe you have to heel toe them a couple of times until your toes spill out over the edges of your mat. Bend into your knees. Start to sink your hips down low. And we're going to meet here in a yogi squat pose, or malasana. Now, since this is a foot care video, it might be a nice option to get a rolled up towel or one of those door snakes, and you can place them underneath your heels if your heels are really high up and this is a super difficult sort of position for your body to be in. If your heels very comfortably come down to the mat, you can play with doing some yogi things with your arms, maybe bring your hands into prayer. But also, if the knees being really wide is all too much for you, you can just come into any sort of squishy position, even if it's just a very squishy little Uttanasana forward fold. So just really listen to what your body is asking you to do for it today. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Maybe you close down your eyes. 1 more breath. Full exhale. Open your eyes. And then very gently take your hands behind you and come to look down onto your bottom. And we're going to sit here in Dandasana. So stretch your legs out long. You may need to move some of your gluteus maximus muscles out of the way. And here in Dandasana, look, this pose is not for everyone. It used to be one of my most hated poses. Just notice the sun has come through. It used to be one of my most hated poses. I'm slowly beginning to make friends with it. You can either rest your hands on your thighs. If you're quite flexible in your legs, maybe your entire hand comes down to the mat next to you. If you're like, girl, no. Then maybe you hang out back here a little bit. But if you're doing this, you're doing the beach version of Dandasana, try not to let your back collapse. Try and stay lifted through your chest. So whichever variation you're in, find it, be happy there. And then really flex your toes strongly towards your nose. Stay here for a breath in. And as you exhale, point your toes away from you like a ballerina. Nice. Inhale, flex your toes to your nose. And exhale, point them away. One more time. Inhale to flex. And exhale, point your toes strongly. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to neutral. And then we're going to bend the knees. Take them over to one side. And we're going to do maybe the best little exercise for your feet, even though it might be one of the more painful ones. So lean yourself forward. We're on our knees now, and we'll stay on our knees for a bit. So if you need to grab a blanket or something, or double wrap your mat, then go for it. And we're going to tuck our toes underneath us. So even for me, I have really tiny baby toes that you might need to physically squish them down to the mat so that you feel that every toe that you own is stuck to that mat. Nice. And then once again, we want to feel like we're sitting on our heels. So don't let your feet or your heels splay out to the sides or too far in. Our heels are directly underneath our sit bones. And then once again, notice if you collapse a little in the spine here, you're going to bring additional weight into your feet. This pose is going to suck even more than it has to. See if you can find this lift up from your pelvic floor muscle, or maybe Mula Bandha, if that term is familiar with you. And then just find this nice straight spine. Tuck your chin in slightly so the crown of your head lifts up to the sky. Smile, because we're not going to be here for very long. Like, it's long enough. One more big breath in here. Complete your exhale. Ooh, everything's burning. Slowly come forward. Unleash your toes. And then maybe you give your feet a little bash, 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 bash. Sorry to our downstairs neighbors. We're going to keep the tops of the feet now flat on the mat. And once again, walk our hips back to our heels. Nice. You want to make sure that your thighs are nice and close. No thigh gaps so that you can hold puppies. Beautiful. And then again, here we're getting this big stretch on the fronts of the feet. Maybe this is enough for you. If you want a little more, you can start to lean back, keep your belly engaged, take your fingertips back behind you, and then maybe you start to float your knees off of the yoga mat. Ooh, big, big stretch through the fronts of the feet. If you're a sucker for pain, then maybe as a final option, you can bring your hands together in namaste at your heart center. Lift your chest. Maybe you're praying that this is going to be over really soon. We're here for one more breath. And then exhale. Ooh, very gently release. You can come forward once again. You can give your downstairs neighbors a little wake-up call. And then come to sit back down on your booty with the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide in Baddha Konasana legs. So there's no need to make these like super crazy shapes here today. We're purely here for foot massage purposes. So alternatively, if this is a real killer on your hips, you can just cross your legs and bring maybe one foot towards you at a time. But this is how I'm going to choose to give myself a little foot massage today. So maybe this is a bit of a weird experience for you if you've never done this before, if you're not used to self-touch. To enhance this little moment, you might like to grab a lovely scented cream or something, or an oil, or whatever you've got lying around. Or if you're like me, your feet are a bit manky, a bit dirty, whatever. We're just going to get in there. So start using your thumbs on the balls of your feet, work into your arches, your heel. Maybe you take these little pinchy motions around the heel of your foot. You can come up the side of your foot. Every little toe gets a little pinchy pinch. Just give yourself a little moment. We're doing just one foot first, and then we'll move to the other. Maybe you start to take your massage to the very top of your foot, maybe your ankle as well. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. It's just something that you can do for yourself anytime. Maybe not like on public transport, but most times it should be not so bad. Yeah, you can get a little hardcore there with your fist and your knuckles. Your feet are pretty tolerant, so you can give them a little bit of extra muscle, those strong yogi muscles you've been working on. Lovely. And then once you've had a little bit of a moment massaging your feet, getting your hands nice and gross and dirty, take your hand and thread your fingers in between each toe, like you're holding hands with your foot and you love it a lot. Then lift your leg up. Notice again, if you collapse here, try and sit up tall, or maybe you want to sit on something like a cushion, and then just start to rotate your ankle in one direction. Nice. And then in the other direction. Again, maybe you get the snap, crackle, pop. I got it. Wow. Back and forth, up and down. Clicks and pops. And whatever else is happening. And then come to stillness. Really wriggle your fingers in there. And then spread your fingers. Hoo-sa. Big, big stretch. Spread your fingers wide. Nice. Take one more breath here. And then exhale as you gently wriggle your fingers out. I'm going to try not to get my little toe ring off with it. And then place your foot gently back down to the mat. Beautiful. All right, other side. Grab your other foot and just start going at it. I like to start the ball of my foot. That tends to be where I feel the most sort of pain in my feet. Work through the arches of your foot. Using your strong thumbs, get into the heel. Again, maybe you take those pinching motions around the heel of your foot. I really, really should have cleaned my feet before filming this video. Oh well. Get into your toes, the tops of your feet. Nice. Maybe give your ankle a little massage. Just doing things for your body that give you these nice sensations. Of course, if you're in a partnership and you've got someone that can do this for you, well, lucky you. That's pretty amazing. But I also like to take a little me time sometimes. Alright, once you've had or are feeling satisfied with your foot massage, then take your foot and your opposite hand and then thread your fingers in between each toe. Grab your ankle and then again start to make circles gently with your ankle in one direction, in the other direction. Again, notice if you're really slumping, collapsing in your spine, try and sit up tall. Amazing. Nice. And then after that, come back to stillness. Really get your fingers down to the webbing of your toes. And then once you've got that, spread your fingers wide. Ooh. This might feel good. This might feel not so good. Might feel bad in a good way. Take one more breath here. Spread your fingers wide. Nice. And then slowly release. Wiggle your fingers out of your feet. Give your feet one last thank you very much. Maybe one final dash, 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 dash. Beautiful. Then come into a comfortable seat of your choice. Actually, I'm going to finish up on my knees today. Amazing. All done. I hope your feet feel really nice, really refreshed. And I hope that you go about the rest of your day really being able to feel your feet engage with the surroundings, the earth or the dirt or the sand, if you're lucky, wherever you are. All right, yogis, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to bow your chin to your chest and quietly whisper to yourself, Namaste.